Welcome back to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly podcast with me, Tony Murrell. This week's special guests are Brian and Leanne Spence, the husband and wife team behind Sicatrix, clothing brand from Liverpool. Brian opens up about his time in the army and the moment that changed everything. He talks about surviving the blast, living with PTSD and rebuilding his life piece by piece. Leanne shares her own incredible journey from falling seriously ill to receiving a life-saving liver transplant. Thanks for listening and watching this episode.
I was sat on a quad bike and he fired the RPG and it directly hit the quad. Took 6 of us out, but I took the brunt of it.
I was going to him, I'm fine, I'm fine. I just thought I was going to be fine. 8 hours later, they got me a liver. I had a transplant.
Welcome to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly podcast with me, Tony Murrell, and this week's special guests are Brian and Leanne Spence, and owners of clothing brands Sicatrix. Really looking forward to both sharing the Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Thanks very much for coming.
Cheers, Tom. Thanks for having us.
Thanks very much for coming. Brian, Leanne, your story is one you just couldn't write. Brian, you was in the parachute regiment. You served in Afghan 2008. Unfortunately, you was it with a RPG where your life totally changed. And Leanne, yourself fell ill while away on a family holiday in Spain, which you needed life-saving a liver transplant. But your clothing brand, Sicatrix, has a meaning which is so personal to you both. So listen, let's get right into it. Where you're from, where you grew up, family life and school life was like.
So I'm from Norris Green originally. Grew up in Norris Green. Went to St Matthews on Queen's Drive. And then from there went to Delasell in Croxted. Good family life up until around about the age of 9, and then my dad left. So it's just me, my mum and my sister then. And we just cracked on as normal, just the 3 of us. Roughly around about the age of 12, 13. So I was an amateur boxer for the Rotunda from the age of 12 up until 18, 19, until I decided to join the army. So that reined me in a little bit.
Yeah, going into the Rotunda, well-known boxing gym in Liverpool and stuff like that. A lot of fantastic boxers have come out of there, and you know, like you say, your uncle sort of give you a little pull and say, listen, you need to get your act together here and that. And getting in the boxing gym, you know, what was it like in the gym? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, fantastic, loved it. Done really well as an amateur. Yeah, went right through the ranks. Done, you know, had 30 plus fights, won a couple of titles, boxed for England. Yeah, so really good up until about the age of 17, 18, and then that was it. Left the Rotunda then, and people were having to start going to find jobs once they'd left school, so it was a little bit tougher trying to get in the gym after work and stuff like that. So that's where you start. Either you're going to stick with it or you're not. Yeah. And that was that's pretty much what happens in my case.
That was what it was. Yeah. Leanne, yourself, where was you from? Where you grew up and stuff?
I'm originally from Dovecot, but I lived between my granny's and my mum and dad's. I had plenty of friends down there. Hated secondary school, absolutely hated secondary school. It just wasn't for me. So my mum moved out to Dovecot and she moved to Tuebrook, where I stayed with my grandparents until, nothing exciting about my life at all, until I met this one. That's.
So obviously you two meeting. Where did you first meet?
Go on, outside the piano bar in Derby Lane in Old Swan. He was with all his mates and I was with one friend, and they were trying to get us to go to town, and I was like, come on, let's go to my mate, and she was like, no, because we were only young, and she's like, we're not going to get in, we won't get in, we'll get the knockback in front of these. So that was it. She exchanged numbers with his mate, and then they didn't really, but then me and him, like, from that night onwards,
he's still here today and stuff like that. Yeah. Unbelievable. Like you say, you've met and stuff like that, and you know, when was it you joined the parachute regiment? Was it?
So I had a couple of spells. So I originally went in 1999, at the age of 16 and 9 months, on the limit when you could join.
Yeah.
Got right through to like week 12. Just wasn't feeling it. Wasn't for me. And the army still give you what's called a discharge as of right at that point, with you being under 18 as well.
Normally, what's the name though, where you can't, you're signed and you can't.
If you're over 18, that's it, you're locked in. But with me being under 18, I know I had that window where I could...
Dusty at night,
yeah. And I remember ringing my mum and I was like, look, I don't think it's for me. She was going, wow, what are you going to do if you come home? That's it, you're going to throw it all away. And I went, well, it's not for me. I'm going to have to spew it. I'm going to have to come home. So I did. I signed off. And it was the biggest mistake I ever made. As soon as I got back home to Liverpool, I wanted to be back. And I didn't go back then till at least, I had a good 4 or 5 years back on, as we'd say, Chivy Street, until I decided to make the move again and go again.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you come back after, was your home sick and that, Brian?
That was, because it was literally just...
You're still a young lad, aren't you? And it's like you go into that, we all think when we're a young lad, we think we're men, don't we?
Of course,
and you just try and step up and all that, and then you realise you miss home, mate. I remember being a young lad and that, and I remember going down south and that, and I think I only lasted a week.
Yeah.
I came back.
Yeah.
I thought, I can't do it down there. I need to be fucking...
Yeah.
I need to get back to sunny Dunny, do you know what I mean? But it's one of those, as a lad, you think you know it all, don't you? And then you go and it's not for you, but then you say, it was probably the worst mistake you made.
The realisation kicks in, doesn't it? Once you're back and you're back in your own setting and you go, what have I done that for?
What have I got? I mean, obviously you got your misses and stuff like that, but then you've got, what is there a career for me out, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But so what did you do then? Did you go back in? Did you say?
So I went back in. I went back in 2003, 4.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And then
went back in 2003. I got right to the end of the training in the paras, right till the end. Maybe 4 weeks from passing out to becoming a para, and there's a certain week you've got to do to become a para called P Company, which is test week, and like they peak you to your fitness level, so you can pass P Company. And on the Trinasium, which is like a high apparatus, what you've got to do just to check that you're going to be all right jumping out the plane. Basically, you're all right with heights. And I jumped into a net and broke my leg, 2 compound fractures. So the bone protruded out my leg, and I ended up getting rushed to the Aussie, all pinned up and everything, and then got discharged out the army after that.
After all the hard work?
After all that. They said, you'll never become a para. You'll never, that leg will never withstand it. So I had another maybe 3 or 4 years out on Civvy Street again. Got myself up to full fitness and went for it again. Got in that time, passed and completely sorted it. I was dead lucky though. My half fella's the kit manager for Everton, Jimmy Martin.
Yeah.
He was one of the longest serving kitmen in the league, wasn't he, Jimmy? And he got me in with the Everton physios. So they absolutely...
The fitness and all that, and the strength and all that. Yeah.
So that got me right through again.
But you know what though, Brian, it's to hear that you're so close to passing out.
Yeah.
You know, your missus and they're all probably like, that day's coming to see you pass out and be, now a para. And then to do that, just snatched away, and to like the injury that you had, that's life changing, for some people.
Yeah, of course,
but it's that thing inside you, the burning desire to like, I'm not gonna let this beat me. Do you know what I mean? And then, but then getting back in, from there, was it like, did you know, obviously knew what you were going to be going through, and so you sort of had, before, like the lads you were probably training with didn't know what was to come, but you sort of had that heads up.
Yeah, I had a heads up, and they put me straight back in on like week 12, so I didn't have all the messing around to do. I straight back in on week 12, and I only had 10 weeks left to do, so I just smashed it, and
then you passed out.
I was out. Yeah, passed out.
From there, the tour, and what unfolded, I mean, was the build up and stuff to it, was there other tours before that, or
No, straight into Afghanistan, 2008, first tour, because when I joined battalion after training, the lads were just on the way back from Iraq, so I got to battalion as they were coming back from their second Iraq tour, so I just had to slip back into battalion life and just be like the lackey for like the next 2 years, just till the next tour come up, and then I had to prove myself in Afghan then in 2008.
For you, Leanne, how was it with Brian being away, and that was it?
I just cracked on. I worked shifts, so I worked for care, and I worked like night shifts, twilights. I'd done like agency work just to try and, with the kids, because we had 2 small kids at the time as well. So just trying to make a bit of money while he was away and stuff. So it was quite hard. So I didn't really get to think about Brian being away. And every other bleeding week I was getting another call saying he's done something, he's ate this, he's ate that, he's broke his leg, he's on... Yeah.
Was it so tough for you? Obviously, your husband's away. He's in the paras, and then you're at home, and it's good that you had that understanding where, because a lot of people, relationships sort of, you know what I mean, because it's hard. You're thousands of miles away and whatever, and you're at home with the kids and stuff, and it's good that he's had that understanding. It's like but then obviously, what unfolds for you, Brian, and for you, Leanne, can you tell us and what happened from there?
Yeah, of course. Straight into Afghanistan. I was in a base called Forwards Operating Base Gibraltar, which was quite a tasty base to be in. We took over from the Marines after they'd done a 9-month tour, and they'd had it quite tough. So we knew it was going to be even tougher for us, because we were going in the summer, which is when it's even more full on. They had like a pretty heavy winter, which is unheard of really, and then we knew what was going to come in the summer. And it was, as soon as our feet hit the ground, within 2 weeks of being there, it was just non-stop. Just non-stop. If you can imagine, like, the base was just plonked in the middle of a forestry area, and there was only one way in and one way out, with the heli coming in, bringing you in and out and bringing you what you need. And then your job every day then was to go out, patrol and push the enemy back, try and gain more ground. That's all we did, and we've done a good job. We've done a fantastic job. And again, it's like my life was just written out. It was right near the end of the tour when I got the good news. It was 2 weeks away from getting home, like 6-7 month tour finished, and then what happened to me is what.
And then, you know, obviously what happened, Brian, you were it with a RPG, is that right?
That's right, yeah. So it was, we'd been in a massive contact the day before. So up on the Sangha, where we had all the machine guns mounted, that was like the main position where the enemy had attacked us from. So that was like the position where I'd get battered, so to speak. So the next day, when we could, we'd go and reinforce it again, sort out the sandbags, fix all the weapons, get everything good to go, because we knew come sunset it's going to go off again. So I got tasked to take a couple of lads down to the heli landing strip just to get some sandbags up, fill everything up, get it all good to go, and we'll go and sort out all the area where the guns and that were laid out. And it was roughly around about 4:30, just as the sun was starting to set, and a fighter stood on a rooftop and fired an RPG direct at the quad. I was sat on a quad bike, and he fired the RPG, and it directly hit the quad. Took 6 of us out, but I took the brunt of it. So I took a lot of shrapnel injury to my stomach and my left flank, to my back. And I just remember the bang really, and then waking up and
face.
Yeah, so this is a crazy one. So I remember waking up from the initial blast and just seeing everyone lying about and stuff, and seeing what state I was in. I was like, oh, this is it, you know. Where do I go from this? And then the whole base had gone into a full-blown contact at this point, because we were getting attacked from
all sides.
360, yeah. So the lads all around the base probably didn't even know that we'd been injured down on the HLS. Well, I think maybe 2 or 3 of them did, but the rest of the base never.
And they were just too, like,
they were just too busy getting stuck in. They didn't know what had happened. They thought the RPG had just come in and gone off, but they didn't know it.
And then it's just kicked, it just blew, it's going off everywhere.
With just gone off in every corner of the base. Then they were trying to overrun us. So yeah, I got myself up, just started running forward, and as I started running forward, you had to like up this little tiny hill, and you could do a right and you were in cover. So I knew I had to get to that, up the top of that hill and do that right. And I could feel myself going. But then I seen my daughter, believe it or not. Yeah, she was there. So she was there as clear as you are now. She was running from left to right in a little denim skirt, pink top, little pink bow, little pink flip-flops. And I had to get her. And she ran round the corner. So she pretty much got me into safety because I tried to get her. And then I collapsed, and I don't remember the next 2-3 days then.
So do you know when you're saying you've seen your daughter?
Yeah.
Is this like, well, when you've been it, yeah, and then you just like, you know, I'd say hallucinating or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? And you're thinking, because that's what got you to the point you needed to get to safety, and you just, and that's what's going on. And then, you know, you're thinking, I need to get to it. And then you just obviously, you collapsed after that.
Well, I've spoke to psychiatrists and that over the years and stuff, and they've explained to me that that's like your brain's way of giving you your final memories because you're on your way out type of thing, or it's like, so it was like, that was prominent to me because I could remember it, because I could remember wearing that gear and stuff. So it was feeding me that. It was like letting me flick through everything and see me last little bits before you're about to.
It's scary. It's scary. It's not madness. It's scary when you say it like that, when you've spoken to people and stuff, because, and they're saying, look, when they say it's your time or whatever, and then but it's give you that extra what's name to get where you needed to be, because, like you say, Brian, what's happened to you? You could have just been lying.
Yeah.
And look, you know, by the time someone would have got to you, mate, you probably would have been.
Big time.
You would have been, you know, no longer here. And lucky enough for, you know, you are here and you're here to tell your story and that. But for you, Leanne, when you get the call, what do you got? What's going through?
I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead because I was getting in the bath and his mum rang. And she's like, it's Brian. I said, is he all right? And she's like, yeah, it's Brian. I can't tell you now. I'll come down and see you. So I'm like, is he all right? What's wrong with him? And then she got to the house because she only lived 10 minutes away. Well, if 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
And then she knocked and I ran downstairs and I opened the door and went, is he dead? And she's just like, no, he's really, really seriously injured. But yeah, I couldn't speak to him for a few days later, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I remember the nurse called me and then I got to speak to Brian and he was just out of it. But he couldn't come home for weeks because of all the
injuries and that.
Yeah, but I went to work the next day though. Because I was just like, what could I do?
Nothing you could do, is there?
So I just got up and went to work.
You know what? And it's like, you're
you
probably still trying to digest exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people, when someone passes away or whatever, some people go back to work the following day because they don't want to sit and think about it or whatever. And I just think it's just in a lot of people everybody's different, exactly, Leanne. And for you to go back to work, and then I think probably that day after, then it's that.
What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. But then, like you say, you just don't know how do you deal with it. You can't tell someone how to deal with something like that because it's a shock to the system, and then you're thinking to yourself, is this real?
Yeah.
You're questioning yourself, aren't you? You know what I mean? Is this real? But you know, the weeks, the months, the years ahead, is that what you're thinking? And you know, both of us, you know, for you, Leanne, obviously. You can only speak to Brian, you know, obviously when he's getting better and stuff. But for you then, is he improving or is he, you know, what's the score with it?
No, he come home and he seemed all right. He had a scar here up from there to there and he seems fine. Well, as far as can be, but you just wanted to crack on with life, didn't you? He was just...
I mean...
It was not till years later down the line and that's when we started to notice the decline in him. Mentally.
And you know what? That's what I was, you know, but while you were over there, did you lose part of your spleen and your bowel?
Yeah, so I had...
You had to get them, obviously they were missing or...
Yeah, I've still got them. They managed to save my spleen. They done what's called a splenic repair.
Yeah.
So it was at the point of able to be saved. They pack it, supposedly. They put like a gauze on it and pack it and stop the bleed, and if they can save it, they will. Because it can cause a lot of dramas in the future if they have to take it out. And regarding me bowel, they took quite a bit of large bowel out. Yeah. And then I've still got still got loads of shrapnel in my back and my shoulders and stuff.
Goes off in the
airports.
But you know, with Leanne saying as well, you come back and you wanted to, it just shows like the determination and the fight in you, because anybody who goes to war and the injuries that happened to you, mate, and you know, a lot of people don't recover. And listen, because when I spoke to you, when I first spoke to you, and you explained your story to me, I was like, is he this guy bionic? Because what you'd explained and being it with that RPG and all that and stuff, when you see them things hit things, you see, you know, explode and stuff like that, and I just couldn't believe with what you were explaining to me, and like to come back and you wanting to just crack on with life, you know, it's unbelievable. But then Leanne saying, then all the other bits come with it, the PTSD, the flashbacks, the nightmares. Yeah. You know, if you can you explain how at first, how it come about and how you know, still dealing with it today?
Yeah. I didn't notice it for a good while, you know, so it was after I left the Paras, because I went to do bodyguarding over on the maritime security for a couple of years, and it was while I was away for 8 weeks on, 4 weeks off, and it was the 8 weeks away where I was on my own, because I'd managed like a 4-man Indian team I'd have with me, so it become like a really lonely 8 weeks. I didn't have no phone communication because I was on a ship. It was only if we got to a port, the WhatsApp would kick in, or I could make a quick phone call and stuff. And then these Indians couldn't speak a word of English between the three of them. So it just become like quite a lonely place, being away for 8 weeks at a time. And I think that's when I started going in on myself and just noticing things weren't right. You know, like my sleep was all over the place and things were startling me and stuff like that. And then it wasn't until I got home and then that's when I started like coping with the ale a little bit then and trying to suppress myself in that sense, and Leanne spotted it.
Trying and listen, there's, like you're saying, you're trying to, like you say, it's like anything, any pain or trauma, we try and cover it by maybe a couple of drinks.
Yeah,
some people might take drugs and whatever, and listen, I'm not saying that's people's way of coping. I'm not here to criticise anybody. You know, that's they want to do, and it helps them. You know, by all means, that's what they do. And but for you and like Leanne picking up and it's like anything when you have trauma or you have any type of accidents or whatever, flashbacks and stuff. Sometimes blanking it out is the way, because it might help you sleep, forget about everything and whatever. But then again, the next day it's there, and then whether you're relying on that or whatever. And did it become like that, Brian?
Oh yeah, it was just a vicious cycle then. So it was just, you know, putting the bandage on it for that night, and then the next day it was like back to square one, and then, well, I'll do the same again tonight, you know what I mean? I'll just keep suppressing it because it pushes it away, it gives me that little bit of downtime away from it, until it got to the point where it was coming out in different ways.
Yeah.
It was coming out in anger, it was coming out in not speaking, it was coming out in physical signs, like I was losing...
Shaking.
Yeah, shaking, like certain smells that kicked me off. I always remember this one time being at the... I'd done the school run, and I was stood in the schoolyard waiting for my kids to come out. I was waiting for Faith and Francis, and I'm always a flip-flop man, live in flip-flops, especially when I was in the army at the time, being in them boots. So I remember stood in the schoolyard in my flip-flops, and I just looked down at my feet, and I was just started shaking uncontrollably and having a bit of a moment. So I'm trying to sort myself out, not look at anyone, not speak to anyone. And my flip-flops disappeared and my boots come on my feet. It's like I went back. And that's when I started noticing I'm going back to the moment as well then. I was actually going back into the situations that I've been in. And that was a really... And
you're in the schoolyard waiting to pick the kids up and that?
You know, hearing kids running about, hearing parents talk, and here's me looking at the floor, and I'm seeing my flip-flops disappear and my boots coming on my feet, and I'm like, I need to get away from here, something's happening, I'm back over there, and I'm all over the place, you know. Like
you say, it's that, you know, it's the PTSD and, you know, and stuff like that, and, you know, we had a guy on, Steve Fortune, he was from Liverpool, he was in the army and stuff, and he said the same. He was exactly like yourself, Brian. Obviously he didn't suffer injuries like, you know, what you suffered and stuff, but he said the ale and the what's name, because he that's how he coped with what he's seen, and I think he got a commendation, he saved someone's life. He shot someone because they were gonna and whatever, and he said he remembered coming back to Liverpool, and he just remembered he was just so angry, and I can sort of relate to what you're saying, and he said the flashbacks and the stuff, and he was going inside himself. His missus was saying to him, you know, Steve, come on, you've got to come out of this, and, you know, I'm here for you and stuff. And it's not that you're trying to push your wife away, or his missus, you know, that feeling that you must have, and if you knew what it was, you know what I mean. And it's so hard to you know, I'm trying to understand it, and I feel a little bit like, wow.
It always made me upset.
Yeah, it's making me a bit upset thinking about it, because
I was always heartbroken with it, because I was like, I'm putting this on everyone, and I'm trying to just keep it in and keep it quiet, but then I'll have a massive and it explodes. It's just like you're waiting for that gas can to just go off.
It's a time bomb, isn't it, sort of thing, where you're just trying to keep it in, and you're doing normal things, you're being dad, going to pick the kids up, you're in the school playground, and the noises, which, you know, it's just kids going to school, running around the playground, and then, you know, you're having, what's going on here? And then, I need to get out of here. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then Leanne's picked up on it and stuff, and where did you go from there then?
So that's when it got to the point where I couldn't cope. So I couldn't cope.
You got arrested.
Yeah. I got done for drink driving. Yeah. Because I just lost the plot. I ended up in they got me then to the mental health team, and with me being a veteran, then I got fast tracked through the veteran services. So the main veterans hospital was in Scotland, called Combat Stress. So I got admitted as an inpatient for 6 weeks there. couple of things leading up and that towards that, like I really lost it. I tried to end my life at one point, and I was found and then taken to A&E, and then that's when they really did fast track me through, and I went on a 6-week intensive treatment course in Ayrshire in Scotland, which was fantastic. Come out brand new, didn't I?
Yeah.
But again,
so long.
for like a week.
But you know what, right? You know, you're just saying that like about you were gonna take your life and stuff. You know, I can't. What's the name of it? Where I'm like, wow, because you feeling how you're feeling and stuff like that. Because I've lost friends who've took their own lives and stuff, and and it's so hard where you try and, like you say, you go, oh, I wish you would have just, you know what I mean, and stuff.
Of course.
But then, but when people are in, this is what I think, and this is my opinion, is like, if people are wanting to do that, and you know, because of so far, and they feel like they can't speak to no one, and I always say to people is, look, no matter how hard it is, there's always a solution. Do you know what I mean? Even though you might not feel like there's a solution, you feel like you're sinking, and everyone's around you, and sometimes when people say, you're all right, and you're like, yeah, I'm all right, stop fucking asking me or whatever. But I always stick to this quote, and I always stick to it: strong walls shake, but they never collapse. No matter how hard it is. And I know you must have got to the point where you were, you know, where you've gone, look, I couldn't carry the end. I couldn't see the end. You know, and for you, Leanne, when you heard that, what was you know?
I thought, I was alone. I was alone because everyone around us just thought he was alone.
Yeah,
I just thought he was just lost the plot, and
he didn't understand
what
he'd
gone
through.
Living with it. The kids didn't see nothing because literally we'd keep everything away from the kids. But I had to live with it.
Pushed all the family out. Everything didn't turn up at anything that we were invited to. Or.
But this is the thing again, Brian. It's like what you've witnessed and experienced over there, blown up, shot at, and this is the thing where I think a lot of soldiers and stuff like that, it goes under the radar. And they not. They do get forgot about. I'm not going to be honest, they do get forgot about.
You see them on the streets and in town.
And it's you know, another mate of mine, Richie Frower, he was in the army, and he said he come out the army. He went through some madness, struggles, like bad PTSD, what he witnessed, what he experienced. And he's got a documentary coming out actually about...
I've seen that.
Have you seen it? Yeah. So, funny enough, he messaged me today, actually. There's a premiere and stuff like that. But it's about what goes on when like, veterans and, you know...
They're forgotten.
They're forgotten.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the title's something about forgotten. I'm sure it is, but... You know, obviously, when you're at that stage and you're not wanting to go to family occasions and stuff, and you just want to be on your own or be with Leanne and that and stuff and whatever. And people are like, why are you being like that? You know, now people will understand why. Because, you know, you may be obviously private people, and you're not going to tell everyone what, you know what I mean? Because you're proud and you're what's the name and stuff, but then again, you're still a human being, you have feelings. We're not robots. We're not programmed to be happy, and you know you're going to be happy all this week. I wish life was like that, but it's not. You know what I mean? But you were diagnosed with complex PTSD. Is that right? When you went up to Scotland, was that?
Yeah, 2016. Got diagnosed with complex PTSD, and at the time I got diagnosed with it, there wasn't many really getting diagnosed with complex PTSD. PTSD was there, but complex was like off the scale a little bit, you know.
Yeah, so when people say PTSD and complex PTSD, what's the, you know, for people who don't know?
Yeah, so complex PTSD is pretty much what it says in the title. So it's just, it's just a big accumulation of your triggers are a lot more sensitive than PTSD itself. Like what could trigger someone off with PTSD would just trigger them, but it might really send me, you know. That's the best way I can describe it.
Well, listen, it's like, it's you, do you know what I mean? And no one else knows how you feel, you know, because you know your body and your mind and stuff like that. And like you say, triggers. Like what I picked up as well, like smells and stuff like that.
Crazy.
See, you know what I mean? It's like you could be walking just through town or something, or going for a walk with the kids or something, and a smell could just kick it off.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's been known in the past. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. And then it's trying to find... like dig down in there. What is it? Why is it that? And then it might be years later, then it'll come up. Oh, it's because of this.
The penny dropped. It's that.
Yeah, it's that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's so, you know, what you're saying. It's eye opening because you hear, you know, little bits and bobs about like veterans and stuff like that. But when you hear the detail of exactly what you've been through and you're coming back and you're trying to civvy streets, like you call it, like just normal life, and the triggers, the smells, you know, the flashbacks and stuff like that. It's so scary when you speak about it like that, you know what I mean?
It's but like you're coming home and nobody else, civvy street, doesn't understand what you're feeling, what you've been through. And, you know, they're just going on day-to-day lives, and you've done what you've done, and nobody understands it, so it gets you angry even more.
Yeah, you take it personal. Then I used to find, like, I used to really find that I'd take it personal, that no one understands.
Yeah.
You know.
Hiya everyone, sorry to interrupt this episode, but here's a quick one from me. If you're enjoying the podcast and you enjoy what we're doing, you can now buy us a coffee. It's a simple way to keep those stories coming. No subscription, just that one-off bit of support. The link's in the description. Now back to the episode. But you know what though, I mean, when people, because people just like, you know, now society today is a crazy place and stuff, and I think a lot more should be done for like veterans or, you know, certain what's names in life where people need help, you know. And I think, not that you wouldn't ask for help, I know at first you were a bit reluctant to, because like you say, men in general, you know, probably don't want to ask for help, but being part of, you know, the paras and stuff like that, and you're proud, and listen, you know, you've had so many accidents and stuff like that, but one thing I'll say is you keep fighting, you never gave up. Even when you know, you've been blew up and stuff like that, you go on doing what's the name, security, and you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And for me, anything like that, you'd be like, you think that's me, I'm done.
Put my feet up.
No, but that's not you. You're not. That's not you. That wasn't you. What you're about.
You just put yourself in there.
When you go through training, you broke down. They call it the factory, and they build you into what they want you to, what they exactly want you to be, and for that to break apart and not be that person. You know, I can't ever see all that being gone out of me. There'll always still be snippets there, even though over the years now I'm starting to find myself a little bit more of me, not army Bri. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and that's a great way to put it. You know what I mean? But how are you dealing with it day to day now?
I deal with it, don't I? I deal with it.
Do you have good days?
Yeah. And I've just learned that, you know, now it's all right not to be all right. That's a massive thing for me now. So it's, if I'm not all right, I just give her the nod and she knows. Just
he's having a bad day. Then he knows that he's got a good day's coming. He's
have
a good day. So that's how he gets through.
That's how you deal with it.
Yeah.
Do you know, obviously speaking a lot about Brian Leanne and stuff like that, and what Brian went through and what you went through. But 2 years ago, while you were away on holiday in Spain, you became ill. Life-saving liver transplant. You went into organ failure. Do you want to tell us a bit about that, Leanne?
Yeah, we went away in August, the 19th of August 2022, to his mum's villa in Murcia, Spain, which we were going every year, wasn't we? So we went down to Torrevieja the day after when we got there, and we went for some food on the marina, and I had squid. So I always have squid. I love shellfish. So anyway, ate it. We went home. A few hours later, I was starting to feel really ill, stomach cramps and vomiting, and just couldn't keep anything in. Just literally was really bad. So I was like, I'll take a couple of paracetamol. So still felt ill, take another couple of paracetamol, went to bed. The next day we had the beach planned and the inflatables, so you just want to be better for the kids. So took another couple of paracetamol and went out, and just taking them paracetamol while I've been sick and dehydrated and not being able to keep anything down. I was like, I am not getting better here. So we went on the inflatables on the beach, and I'm going into organ failure at this point, and I didn't know. I just thought I had really bad food poisoning.
Yeah.
So he's kicking me down the inflatables and everything, trying to drown me, and I can't breathe. But so we went for food, and then we went back home, took another couple of paracetamol, went to bed, and then I went to the toilet. You're downstairs watching some fight.
It was
Yusuf,
AJ Yusuf, the first one.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it.
So I just couldn't rest. So I went to the toilet, looked in the mirror, and I was like, my eyes are going yellow. So I went down, I said to them, I need to go to walk. I couldn't just about get down the stairs because I couldn't breathe.
You're in agony,
I
would
was
you?
in so much pain and I couldn't breathe, and I just thought, I've got a really bad case. Didn't think it
Just
at
thought
all
she
be
was
plain
sick.
plain old paracetamol, just didn't think that'd be them at all. So I went downstairs and my eyes are yellow. He said, come on, we'll take you to walking. So we went to walking, and then they said I need to go straight to hospital. So went to the Aussie in Torrevieja, and they sent me straight up to the ICU after taking my blood and said, you're going into organ failure. They done a scan and said, you're going into organ failure. We need to try and, they gave me an antidote to try and reverse it, and just didn't do nothing. And then they blue lighted me to Alicante. And then I was going to them, I'm fine,
Yeah, she didn't know
I'm
nothing about
fine.
it. She
I just thought I was going to be fine. I didn't know. And they were like, you might need a liver transplant. And I'm like, no, I'll be fine.
We didn't even know what a liver transplant was, though, did we?
Didn't know what it,
Didn't know what it consisted of.
Didn't know. And then, so 8 hours later, they got me a liver and I had a transplant.
So within a matter of 24 hours, basically?
Just fit and healthy, never at the doctors, never at the hospital, never. So literally overnight, just to have a liver transplant and then be at the doctors every week from then on.
But, do you know, on the build-up to it, so when she got blue lighted to Alicante, obviously we had to have a family friend come and take the kids, because I still had the kids with me. So a family friend come and took the kids. And I'll tell you who it was, Mark Halsey, the referee.
Mark
Halsey.
Do you know what?
You must know Mark.
Well,
he used to do a lot for Everton, didn't he?
Well, we went over to his place in Alicante, me and Ben. We went over, we had him on the podcast. What a lovely fella.
Oh, he's a cracker.
And Mark and his wife and his daughter, we went over and done a podcast with them. Obviously, like what you're saying there, because they live over in Alicante, and what a lovely family they are, like, do you know what I mean? But obviously, Mark,
he's good mates with Jimmy Martin.
Yeah, he speaks so highly.
My mum rang in and said, look, I'm going to get a flight over. Can you take control of the kids for Brian, because he's got to go to Alicante with Leanne. So that was how it all panned out. They turned up at the hospital, took the kids for me, and then I followed the ambulance to Alicante.
You know, like, so obviously, it's organ failure. Did you know what, like, at this time, you probably don't know, you're thinking to yourself, obviously 24 hours earlier, you're eating squid, and all this, that and the other, you're down on the beach with the kids, but then it's just getting worse and worse. But when you put in the ICU, Leanne, and whatever, Brian, and, when the doctors are telling you this, you're going to need a liver transplant. What are you thinking here, Brian?
She still wasn't getting it, because she was all, I think, you were disorientated.
Me doing all, like, counting and stuff in case the toxins went to my brain, but they didn't get to my brain.
It didn't get as far up as where, so they were coming in and making her, like, how many fingers have I got up, all this, and doing, like, cognitive stuff. She'd have to touch her nose, and I said to one of the main doctors, why are you doing that? He said, because if the toxins, I think, rise to the brain, then that's when we'll have to put it in an induced coma, because that can really cause heart attacks and everything, then it's really bad. So I said to him, how bad is this? He said, it's bad. He said, she needs a new liver. He said, I went, well, will you get her a new liver? He went, well, now she's on priority #1 in Spain. So the government have given us the go-ahead to scan the whole of Spain up towards Portugal to get her a liver. She's #1. And I said, well, what if you don't get her a liver? He said, well, she goes to God. And that's what he said to me. He said she goes to God, because they're a very Catholic country, Spain, aren't they? They're very Christian and they believe in all that. So I'm stood outside the ICU and he told me, if we don't get her one, she goes to God.
And when he says that,
I don't know whether to throw him up against the wall or drag him down the stairs, or just, I didn't know what to say. I just thought,
wow.
Why are you even saying that? But that's how comfortable they are with death over there. It was like, if we get her one, we get her one, but
I wasn't.
But she never knew none of it.
Yeah, because obviously you're in ICU.
10% rate of survival I had as well, and that's so I'm so lucky to be here.
So obviously they find a liver for Leanne, and I can't. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, because, like you say, you're on a family holiday with your kids and that, doing family stuff and that, and enjoying yourselves, and the next thing you're in the ICU, you're having a liver transplant. Obviously, when the liver's, you've had the transplants and stuff, and you've eventually came round. What can you remember, Leanne?
Oh, in so much pain. It was horrendous, absolutely.
Oh, it was horrible to see.
Because it was just, I wasn't waiting for a liver over time and getting myself used to, get you used to it. They give you medications and everything, getting your body used to it, to receive that liver. But because mine was overnight, I went in about 9.5 stone.
Yeah.
And overnight it was went up to 12.5 stone with water. I could not walk. I couldn't walk. He was like trying to get me out. I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand. Just 3 stone overnight in water.
That's
scary, Tony, honestly.
I can't imagine, because the fight that you were going through, Brian, and Leanne being there for you, and then the roles are reversed. You know, you're thinking to yourself, is this a wine? You know what I mean? Because you question yourself, don't you? You know what I mean? But for the both of you to go through what you've been through, and it's just, I just think, because when you reached out to me, Brian, you told me this, I was like, no way, this has got to be a wine.
Yeah.
But when you broke it all down, and it's something that you'd see on a film.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, we sit there now sometimes, and we've even put pen to paper, and it just doesn't seem real even now. We're like, bloody hell.
We've both survived it as a couple as well, knowing that both.
And we're both carrying the same size scars on our chest.
And you know what? It's like your recovery and stuff like that, because we're going to get onto all about like your scars and stuff in a bit, like, but the recovery, obviously you being there for Brian, and the roles are reversed and Brian's going to be there for you. What was the recovery and, the personal battles like for you both?
It was really hard. Your mum come down, didn't she, to help with the kids? And he got into a routine of going the Aldi and just packing his bag. And then the minute I was ready to go back, he was like, he hated me going shopping with him. He was like, no, you're doing it wrong. She threw me up in the air then, because I'd have like...
That was your routine?
Oh, Tony, it was great, because I'd all my issues had just been thrown to the back. And I knew I had to just keep pushing forward for her. So whenever my crap had come in, I'd just be like, well, you're not coming in today because I've got this to do. So I'd crack on doing what I needed to do.
The shopping was one of the things that you took on, and it was like, that's my role now.
You're not packing it correctly.
Oh, it was murder when she got better, and we first went to Asda or wherever we went together, and she's putting the stuff in the wrong bags. I lost the plot. I was like, oh,
you're doing it wrong.
Go and get in the car. You're killing me. It's going to kick off.
It was really hard though. It was like I was scared of everything. I was terrified of everything. Going out, even you had to take me out in the car.
We were buying
and
cases of hand
trying
sanitizer
to drive,
and everything.
Yeah, I bought loads of sanitizer.
Do you know when you were saying, because you're questioning, you think, what's the cut and stuff, but Leanne, I know you've started speaking out and raising awareness about the dangers of paracetamol.
Yeah, not leaving that gap.
And what has the response been like? Because people don't understand about paracetamol, and I've heard a few people have been watching into paracetamol and stuff, do you know what I mean? And they don't understand the dangers. So what can you tell people? Well,
you're not the first person we've spoke to about the paracetamol, but there's 100,000 people admitted to hospital every year with accidental overdose of paracetamol. So there's like 200 deaths a year, but just accidental overdose, and people just in the UK, and people don't know. It's imperative to leave that gap, which I was disoriented, so I just didn't. I'd have 2. I wouldn't take no more than 2, but I'd have 2 and then not leave a gap. And I just wanted to be better for the kids on the holiday, to have a good holiday, and they ended up with like the worst holiday of their lives.
But do you know what you say about, we've known, like as kids growing up or whatever, you'd have a headache or you'd have toothache or something, and you take paracetamol, and then the pain's still there, and an hour or 2 hours later you'd take them again because the pain.
We've grown up like that.
But that's how we've grown up.
Toothache, definitely, or earache or something like that.
Exactly. But what's the, like you're saying, because that's what people know, that's all. They don't understand that there's like time, you should leave that much time. So what did you find out about it, Leanne?
About leaving the time.
Yeah.
You've got to leave that 4 to 6 hour time period in between each, and it states on the box for everyone to see.
Do you know what? But people just crack them open and just see.
Because they think, they sell them in the Home Bargain, they sell them in the Asda. Do you know? I can get them
in the corner shop.
It's in Calpol.
So it can't be
so
that
you
bad.
Don't think it's that bad, but it's the most toxic drug that you can have for your liver.
Yeah. And that's what was the cause of obviously you having having a liver transplant. In that space of time, Leanne,
I know,
that is scary.
Scary fast, honestly.
And
so quick.
For you to, to come on and open up about that, that takes a lot because, like you say, you question yourself, and you was like you were saying, you were like, what could it have been, and whatever, and then you got to the bottom of it. Was your mind blown when obviously you found out?
Yeah.
It's scary when you do say it, like paracetamol. It's in the Asda, it's in the Owen Bargain, it's in the Calder shops, it's in Calpol.
My daughter's 20 next month, and I'd still give her a spoonful of Calpol, that's it. I won't let her have anything. She wants anything, she'll have a spoon cup full of Calpol, and that's that.
That's just being a protective mum and dad, because of what you've been through, and there's nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because you just don't want your kids to go through what you went through, do you know what I mean? And it's so easily where people are, I've got a hangover, or I've got a...
That's the worst time to take it as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And people do it because they've got a pound and headache. Yeah. Oh, I'll take 2 paracetamol. Oh, I've still got this headache. Yeah. And look what happened to yourselves and stuff. But, about the raising awareness and that, have you been, speaking out to people or anyone like that, or have you been in...
No, I haven't been speaking out to people, but I've got a meeting with liver transplant.
The NHS
organ donation on the 2nd of October, so that'll be going.
Well, listen, it's great that you're raising awareness, because stuff like this needs to be out there.
It does.
You nearly lost your life, your family and stuff like that, and you're here to tell the story, and you're very lucky, and you're turning a situation into a positive one by coming out and speaking about it and raising awareness. And people like yourself, I think it'd be good for you to to speak to, go into like medical things, profession, into like schools and stuff like that, and because I know like they'll say, oh yeah, we know that, but look, your story is one where I've never known anything like that, and within 24 hours you're close to death's door. Do you know what I mean?
It's like when the person's there stood in front of you who's been through it, it makes it more real, doesn't it?
Of course it does, yeah. It's real.
Then on a box.
It's exactly, it's lived life experiences, and I think them things hit home, and even go into schools and colleges and stuff like that, and raising, and even into workplaces is a good thing as well. Do you know what I mean? But you've both turned horrendous situations into a positive by creating Sicatrix, a clothing brand, to help others do the same. The story, Sicatrix, who come up with the name and, what it stands for and stuff?
I think I come up with the name.
You come up with the name, yeah.
Yeah, because it's scar in Latin. It's with a C, it's spelled with a C. Yeah. So we're Spence, so we changed it to an S, and went with that one. So so it's scar with an S.
But like we spoke a little bit before, and we said about like clothing brands, and it's but what it actually means to you, to you, Brian, Leanne, Sicatrix, there's the story behind it and what you're doing, do you know what I mean? It's like you've got like 40 centimetre scar, is that right?
Yeah. That's right.
Both of you have got 40 centimetre scar.
It goes up and mine goes across.
Like noughts and crosses. Look like a right pair on the beach.
We both have 46 staples as well.
But do you know what? It's like what you've both been through, and you're just so positive and what you're doing and stuff like that, and creating this clothing brand and stuff like that. It's like you've never both given up. You're going on, you're carrying on and pushing on, because with what you've experienced, some people just go, that's me, and I'm on that's me. I don't move out the house and whatever. But you're doing something about it. So the clothing brand, how did it come about? Was it just you both talking about it one night and a light bulb moment, or?
Well, it was mostly due to...
We wanted to put our negatives into our negative experiences into something positive. Yeah. And we found exercise was our coping mechanism, because I never really trained beforehand, but I started Pilates after my op. So it was like, and then I found obviously sportswear was what I was
being
most
comfortable as well with it rubbing on the scars and stuff.
It just fitted in right to go with a sports brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you both of you just sitting there one night and...
So it was just a case of, we just done loads of own work, so we didn't
we spent a good year
we didn't rush
doing
into
everything
nothing.
properly, trademarking everything first.
Did you?
Done everything first.
Reached out to a logo designer and let him go away for 2 months, and he come back and he was like, right, I've done this S with the line slashed to it, which is the scar, and he done it all properly. So we feel like we've ticked all the boxes before we even went live, because the business was set up 2023, but we didn't go live till just over 12 weeks ago.
you know
just
what?
Took our time. There was no rush.
It's like jumping in with 2 feet straight away and stuff. And
once they get it right.
Do you know when you're saying about like when you start and it's like the logo, and when you see the logo and then you see it, and it gets you excited, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because I remember when we started the podcast and I was like, oh, the logo. Do you know what I mean? And it's one of them. But then when you go, this is our brand, this, and what it stands for and what it means. It's like when you have a business and stuff, and no one's going to work as hard. If it's your own, no one's going to work as hard as you.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
No one's going to work because you want it to work.
Of
Do you know what I mean? But what it stands for and stuff. And like you're saying, you were going like to Pilates, you go in the gym, and like you say, you know, there's some lovely clothing brands out there and stuff. But then you want one that's nice, fit, it's comfortable, it's affordable and stuff like that. And, But even like saying it took 2 years till we went live 3 months ago.
Yeah.
You know, so you're getting all things right, and you want your own spin, because there's loads of fantastic clothing brands out there. You know what I mean?
Every day they're popping up.
But what I'm saying, when it's your own, why is ours so different, and why is Sicatrix so different?
It's just all about the story. It's about, you know,
coming back,
pushing forward. You only get one go at this. You know, there's no going back. So if you're going to fall forward, and that's massive for us, isn't it?
It's like putting something on that these people who've made this
where your strength
have literally been in dire straits. They've been like down in the gutter.
We can do
and
it.
If we can do it, anybody can do it. You know what I mean? If you can come back from that and create something that you've got on your back, then you know you can do anything.
It's very inspirational, that, because what you have been through, the two of you, you'd never dream anything like that would, you know, husband and wife, to go through 2 near-death experiences, you know, and then to come back and pull each other through, you know, the good, the bad and the ugly.
Yeah.
And then you go, you know, you create something which is very personal and very, what's named to yourselves, and, you know, and what it stands for. Because, like I said before, a clothing brand, there's a meaning, you know, it's either there's someone behind it, you know, it could be personal or whatever, or it could be, but it's your story and what it stands for, you know what I mean? And it's great, because when people watch this, they'll understand when they, you know, what the clothing brand's about and how personal it is to use, and, you know, it's brilliant. But, you know, getting Sicatrix out there, what message do you want people to take away when they wear your brand?
Wear your scars with pride, you know, follow the journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That I think that's a good message, because obviously, you know, both of you with your scars, and you know, and
we all carry them, so whether they're physical or mentally, we're all carrying scars.
Yeah.
You know, so if you can, you know, see something in what we've been through, and it'll help you, empower you to push on and
inspire you know, to do what you need to do.
And people relate as well.
Yeah.
Because, like you've just hit it on the head, Bri, it's not physical scars or whatever, it could be in there.
Of course,
you know, and like what you've been through, and yourself, Leanne, it's like someone could just be sitting, you know, and they could be, you know, having a bad day, and, you know, and then they come across this episode, and they see your both of your story, and they go, wow. It makes them sit up and think, I need to do something. And because this is what our podcast's about, is about real people with real stories, and people relate so much to them, because, you know, people who've, you know, had near-death experiences, or they've gone through some kind of depression or some kind of adversity in life, and, you know, you're inspiring people, because you never give up. Yourself, Brian Leanne, yourself, and, you know, it's great that you've turned a negative into a positive, and you're trying to, you know, what you're doing with your clothing brand and stuff like that. But I think what you've just said there about the message for with the brand, and that is like, you know, to wear your scars with pride, and don't be afraid
to show them.
Exactly. You know, it's a very good, tough message, that, and I think a lot of people will relate to that. But, you know, this is a bit of a what's name on this, but it's obviously so many clothing brands, but Sicatrix, why is it so different to others? Obviously, because the backstory, do you think?
Yeah, definitely the backstory, and the coming back from such a low point in our lives, and actually coming back and creating something that we can be proud of, and we can say, do you know what, we done this, even though we're not good every day. I still think about what happened to me, and it still gets me upset. So I can relate to the way Brian felt when, well, after what he's going through himself anyway with his PTSD. So when he's bad, I can relate to how he feels now. I could never do it before my transplant because I couldn't understand, but now I could, and it's like I just want to be on my own. I just don't want to speak to anybody because it still hurts me what I went through. So to come back after that and still having bad days and good days, then I feel like we've achieved something.
No, it's it's what's the name that though, Leanne, because like you say, sometimes like you have days where you just want to be, so, and it's nothing against anyone else or whatever. My missus sometimes just want to speak to me, and I'm like, fucking hell, what have I done? But she wants to just like, so I just want to be left alone. I'm like, oh, yeah, sound okay. And I sort of get it now. I didn't used to get it. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm just like, you know what I mean? Because sometimes I'm just full on, and my missus is like, fucking, I'll have a day off, will you? Do you know what I mean? But I get exactly where you're coming from, and it's how you both understand one another. Do you know what I mean? Where you at first, you didn't understand how Brian was feeling, but then when what happened to you, now you do, and you've both got each other, and you're such a tough team and stuff like that. But the toughest challenges so far, with Sicatrix,
with the brand.
Yeah.
Oh God, manufacturers.
Yeah, bloody hell. Especially you're working with them over in, say, Vietnam or Hong Kong, and as you're about to go to bed, they're waking up, so the phone starts
3 o'clock in the morning, I get messages from sitting up like, that's probably the toughest,
It's been the toughest and stuff.
But this is just the beginning, so, because I'll just tell you this, in early 2026, we're kicking a charity off called the Survivors Hub, which is going to be a signpost service for veterans in the community, and also transplant recipients, whether that be people on the waiting list or people who've actually been through organ donations or organ transplants.
And families can can reach out.
Two separate charities, because we need to signpost. But
I've got a good friend there, Joseph Fleming. He's got a company called Lion Culture, doing really well, and he helps people set the CICs up and stuff. So we're just starting to work with him now, aren't we? And get them launched early 2026.
Do you know what? Considering what you've been through, it's like, it's sort of blown me away, because how tough your lives have been to what you've gone through, to building your brand. And it's I've got one of your hats on today, a blue one. I was going to say about a red one for him over there, but we were laughing because he's a big red and that. But it's brilliant, because you're thinking of other people. Considering what you've been through, and when you look at it, like you think, have a little bit of time for yourselves, and let's try and get back to how we was and stuff, because you'd have your good days and your bad days and stuff. You're starting a charity, want to start the charity for the organ, foundation and stuff, for families to come because families as well suffer, you know what I mean, and veterans families and stuff, they get the backlash, but they get the days where they don't know what to do. But coming and speaking to you and your charities is, I think, it's given back, and that's why I think you're two unbelievable, inspirational people, because to go through what you went through, you'd think it'd just be time out and just like, let's try and get at our lives, but you're just going and pushing on, and you aren't stopping, do you know what I mean? And it's great to see, you know what I mean? It's fantastic.
Seeing what we've been through, makes you want to more push on, because you could be gone tomorrow. It gives you more of a drive, knowing we've been there, so life could be over tomorrow, so you've just got to do.
But we can actually say that, because we've been there.
You've actually been there. So obviously you're just looking, setting up into early 26.
Early 26. Hopefully just after February, the charity should be nice and live then, all good to go. So
it's brilliant, mate. It's just your story, it's one of them. But the response so far with people who can connect with your story, because what's the response been like from people, or not many people know your story, or is it?
Sorry, go on.
Oh, go on.
We've had a great response with the story and how powerful it is, but you're the first person I've told about paracetamol.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So but you know what though, Leanne, speaking about that, is something that does really need to be spoken about, and the ins and outs of, like you're saying,
like times and stuff like that, for what I'd done to you, you know, is there anyone out there you'd like to reach out to who could obviously, you know, you'd want to go and speak to about like schools, colleges and stuff like that, and or because this needs to be, the awareness needs to be raised.
Be open to all that,
yeah, I'm open to all of that. Definitely. That you've mentioned that, haven't you?
Yeah.
And it took a lot.
It needs to start early, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Like,
you need to crack on with that nice and fast, get it out there, you know, and push on with it.
But it's like you say there, we're on it to obviously, you know, for you to be on, you know, open and tell us that, because, like you say, you know, when you, like, a lot of people don't know about paracetamol and obviously what it's done with your story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I say, you know, if we can, you know, get it out there and stuff like that, and people can reach out and maybe, you know, invite you into like workplaces, colleges, stuff like that, it'll be fantastic, do you know what I mean? But what's been the good, the bad and the ugly?
You're good at this. She's been practicing this.
No, I didn't. The good's still being here, still being alive with my family, and learning more about, being more aware of organ donation. Go on, you do the bad. My ugly's recovery was horrendous.
I'd say the ugly for both of us is probably the recovery.
Yeah.
But also,
yeah,
well, my ugly's
dealing with it every day.
Living with it, you know.
Yeah.
Being such a one of the tough guys in the paras and loving it, and then getting injured, and then living with the consequences of being that fella. That's the ugly for me. I loved it when I was in, but does it feel worth what I'm going through now to have done what I've done?
And I think when you put it like that, right, when you're there, yeah. You're there, you're thinking about there. It's not 10, 15 years later, 20 years later that you think about, but all that comes with it.
Yeah.
The ugly side of it is like, catches you eventually, but you did do with you, and you're here to tell your story. But what's been the good and the bad? Obviously the ugly, you've just said.
The good is still obviously having her here, because I don't know what I would have done if she'd snuffed it. I was being lost. She's been my rock all these years, and then the roles reversed. I'm like, so the good is actually still having her here now to tell the story. Yeah, no, it's a what's the name one, mate, and your stories are, you know, fucking blow my mind, if I'm going to be honest, and it really has. But what's family life like today?
It's lovely, really good, nice. Yeah.
Really good. We got some good news last week regarding the brands. We're just being accepted with Debenhams. We're going live with them next week. So considering we've only been going 15 weeks, you know, it's Debenhams online. They approached us and said, we love your backstory, we love what you're doing, we think you do well on the platform, so we're going live with them next week.
That's fucking unbelievable. So, I'm so made up for you. And do you know what? It's things like this, people's stories, and like you said, your backstory and all that. You couldn't fucking make this up.
No.
This is a film on Netflix, this, you know. Do you know what I mean?
They're not coming in my house.
No, do you know what? Because what you've explained there and what you both went through yourself, both of you, you know, to have one near-death experience, but to have two, that's just crazy. And then to come back fighting, to build a clothing brand, what you've built, you know, like you say, doing the 2 years, you know, building up to it instead of jump, because like you say, you jump in with you've done all your own work, you've done all that, and now you've fucking got Debenhams, what's the name and that, you know. And I mean, look, that's just, I don't know how it'll make yourself feel if it's, you know, when it's on the what's the names in Debenhams or whatever, or it's, you can go and you'll be, you know, that make me so proud. But to even have that, you know, that's fucking, it's like a what's the name story. It's like a fairy tale. Because of
feels good.
You know, but it's all that hard work. It's that never giving up, and you know, that perseverance, never giving up. And like you just said there, you don't know the next day. You know, you just got to take every day, and that's what you're doing. You're inspirational and stuff like that. And but what's in the pipeline for Brian and Leanne?
Just keep cracking on, keep pushing forward. So get Sicatrix out there as much as we can, get it recognised all over the country, push Europe wide, you know.
We've got some new clothes launch.
We've got a nice casual range launching around November, December time. And
then just the Debenhams and charities. So charities are the main
that's going to be our focus in the next
focus,
couple of months while we're waiting
yeah.
for the next lot of clothes to drop. We're going to really delve into the charity work. And
you're busy, aren't you? And it's great to see, and you know, what, it's blew my mind that, you know, when you said about Debenhams and stuff like that, and fucking deserved though, do you know what I mean? All the hard work, what you've been through, and the story behind it, and stuff, you know, it's absolutely brilliant to hear, you know what I mean? And people watching this can look at you two and go, fucking hell, they've been through it then.
Yeah.
And they could have been through some kind of bad adversity in life and stuff, and they'll go, and then they might go and try and create a clothing brand. Definitely. And you're inspiring people, you're showing people that you just don't give up and that, and it's fantastic to hear and stuff, you know what I mean?
Most people have been through something, haven't they?
Yeah, they've gone through some, in life.
So, you know, hopefully this inspires a lot of other people to do what they want to do in life. Just
before we go, how can people contact you on social media or your website and stuff like that? Have you got a website?
Yeah, so you can get us on www.sicatrix.co.uk. That's our store. That's our store where you can buy all the products on there. Also, from next week, debenhams.com. And also the Instagram is @sicatrix.uk.
He knows all of that.
Do you know what the funny thing is? For 23 years, we've never done any social media. No, we've just been on WhatsApp. Never, and then within the last 12 weeks, we've had to go full on with everything, and it's just been absolutely nuts. But
how do you find it? How do you? I'm going to ask you something now. Yeah. I know you're laughing anyway, because I watched one of your videos today, and it was fucking sound, by the way. Yeah. Because I hate doing it myself. Oh. Right. I hate doing it. I've got to do loads of takes. Sometimes I've got, you know, but he starts laughing and so when you do it and you've got to do loads of takes and that, how do you find doing your reels and your clips and stuff?
It's tough.
Well, we went into town to do it because with this social media company, and I think it took, 40 minutes? I think mine took like 7 minutes or so, but you had to go out.
Down and everything. And
40 minutes.
Oh, it's terrible. So, yeah. I don't think the double espresso well before.
You've been flying off that,
No,
but it's brilliant to see, and it's great, and listen, a very powerful story, it knocked me, if I'm going to be honest. I was a bit emotional at one point because, you know, what you were explaining and stuff, and, you know, it's very real, very honest and very open, and I just want to say thank you to both of you for sharing the good, the bad and the ugly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.